Shalom. First and foremost, like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders for preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to you, Akim, out there. And this is a sit-down lesson that I wanted to bring out from MSN.com news article from the Associated Press, published by Terra, COPP Associated Press, yesterday, 12:41 p.m. And it reads, U.S. sending bridge launchers to Ukraine for spring fight. As the war in Ukraine continues to heat up and intensify, it says the U.S. announced a new $400 million military aid package for Ukraine on Friday that the first time includes armored vehicles that can launch bridges, allowing troops to cross rivers or other gaps as Russian-Ukraine forces remain entrenched and opposing and opposite sides on the Dnieper River. The war has largely slowed to a grinding statement during the winter months, with the Russia-Ukraine firing at each other from across the river. Both sides are expected to launch offensives as temperatures warm. This round of aid will be drawn from existing U.S. weapon stockpiles so it can arrive in Ukraine faster. It says the U.S. and its allies are trying to rush an additional support to Kyiv to best position in its intensifying spring fighting. The armored vehicle launch bridge is a portable 60-foot, 18-meter folding metal bridge that is carried on top of a tank body, providing that system now could make it easier for Ukraine troops to cross rivers to get Russian forces. And it says because Ukraine also continues to face shortages of ammunition and the intense firefight, this aid package, like previous ones, and including thousands of replacement rounds such as rockets for the high mobility artillery rocket systems and the 155 Hazard rounds. This package also includes demolition and equipment for clearing obstacles to help Ukraine break through dug-in lines. Since Russia invaded a year ago, the U.S. has sent more than $32 billion in weapons and equipment. The U.S. also roughly tripling the number of Ukraine forces it is training on advanced battle tactics at a base in Germany. Right, and then the troops not too long ago came into the United States at a Oklahoma military base, was training there as well too, and in Germany, in different parts of places as well too. I would say in 3 locations that the United States soldiers been fully training them. So I just want to add a note to that. I'm going to read it again. It says the U.S. is also roughly tripling the number of Ukraine forces it is training on advanced battle tactics at a base in Germany to help them punch through entrenched Russian lines. As a Grenfell were training area Ukraine forces through a 5-week course that prepares them to conduct advanced combined armed maneuvers with Bradley fighter vehicles and M19 Paladin and Stryker armor personnel carriers. The first 600 Ukraine troops completed the course last month, and 1,600 more are in training. The aid will also include spare parts and equipment for vehicles maintaining and repair. The announcement comes on the heels of a brief meeting between U.S. and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov at a gathering of top diplomats for the group of nations in New Delhi. It was the highest level in personal talks between the two countries since the Russian invasion of Ukraine, but there was no indication of any movement towards easing the tensions between the two nations. And Anthony Blinken said he told Lavrov the U.S. would continue to support Ukraine for long as it takes. Lavrov did not mention speaking with Blinken when he held a news conference after the meeting, told reporters Moscow will continue to press its action in Ukraine. Oh, Slovakia. Wrong scripture. This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 7. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end shall not be yet. Right, because the tensions are still increasingly intensifying over there with the Russia-Ukraine situation, as the United States and NATO and Western countries continues to support and supply the Ukrainian soldiers against the Russians, as the fight in Ukraine, the Russia-Ukraine war situation between the two nations, as it continues to increase, and the fighting definitely increasing, intensifying as well too, right now as we speak. So that's why the end is not yet, because the wars and rumors of wars are definitely heating up between these two nations. And verse 8, Mark 13 and verse 8, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows, right? So that's what we are seeing. This is just a beginning of sorrows, because we are in increasing stages of increasing of more things to come, especially when it comes to the nations rising against nations, because we're seeing a definitely increasing of these signs of the nations going against one another. Especially a prime example with the Russia-Ukraine situation is heating up. Now, as they're entering in springtime, you're going to see more military offense from the Ukraine side from the Russia side against the Ukrainians, as the Russia-Ukraine situation continues to increase, because Russia called it a special military operation of the invasion of Ukraine, because this is the second year of this war entering in between these two nations. That's why, nations rising up against nations, it's increasing more and more now, so more than ever. So with that, this was just a quick sit-down lesson that I wanted to bring out of this recent news article from the Associated Press. As of yesterday, 12:41 p.m., as it says, the U.S. sending bridge launchers to Ukraine for spring fight, as the United States announced a new $400 million military aid package assistance to the Ukrainians, as the war in Ukraine continues to heat up between the two different nations, from the Russians and the Ukrainians as well too. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Wakaradash. Double honors to the elders for preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Hakim, scattered to the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say shalom.